Welcome to part 2 of the Gauntlet build. In this part we'll make all the finger guards, the thumb guard and the greave, connect all the parts together and then try and make some nice finish on the parts to make it look antique. I've cut out the piece for the greave here, and what I've done is I have folded over the edge here just a little bit. What I hope to do is use this coat hanger and place the wire in here inside and then fold over on top so it gets a nice rounded edge rather than just being a flat edge. Well, that's what I hope to do. I've seen it done but I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to do that next and then see how that turns out. I've hammered the wire in to the top, looks nicer from that side, and I've also hammered in, this is my family crest, I've hammered it in with a chisel to cut the lines in. Then I've gone over this side and I've hammered along the edge of the chisel lines to kind of raise it up. And then I'll go back on this side and I'll neaten all the chisel lines up, and then I'll probably do some patterning around the edges and flatten it all just to make a crest. So I've finished the embossing, I think you'd call it embossing, and then I bent it round. Maybe I should have bent it first before I did it. But I bent it around, and the little flatbed left there, I put a temporary rivet in. It's one of these ones, so I'm going to get a proper rivets. And I trimmed it. I have to sand all the edges. It's roughly the right size. I'm not sure how I'll texture this because all this has got a nice beaten texture. I'm not sure how I'll be able to beat this. I did use this log, so maybe I can go around and beat it while it's on the log. So now I've drilled some holes, so I just have to put it on there with these temporary rivets and see how it works. So I'm getting a bit closer to reality. Surprisingly enough, so I'm getting quite pleased now. So I've got to do finger guards, and I'm going to do that really fancy thumb guard, and then chop this back and do more texturing on this and maybe tidy that up. So let's carry on. I've cut out all the finger guards now. There's 24 of those, 24 of these pieces. There's 5 finger ends, and then there's the pieces here of the thumb guard. This piece for here, and then these 2 pieces I'll fold and make this hinge. There are 2 pieces of steel that have been folded over with a bar in the middle. I could probably use a piece of coat hanger, and then I have to try and figure out where to get these stand-up rivety things that make it all move around. I've shaped all the pieces, I've drilled them, and I've cleaned them all up with a wire brush, so they're starting to feel a bit more like they should be on a suit of armour, so I'm going to start fixing them to leather now. I've cut out some leather strips here looking at the original gauntlet, and here's the first finger. I've used these rivets, they seem to work quite well, so I'm just going to carry on with the other ones. This is where I am at the moment. I've got all the pieces on my fingers with the correct number of pieces, and the extra ones up here are the ones that will be riveted along the knuckles here on my gauntlet. I've made the thumb piece here, and I made the hinge by folding over the 2 metal pieces, cutting them and inserting a piece of coat hanger wire like this down in here, and then kind of hammering it down to make it look like a hinge. And it's the first hinge I've ever made, and it seems to work. I did kind of squeeze the ends to stop the coat hanger wire coming out. I tried putting solder, but solder doesn't seem to work. Aluminium and steel, but there you go. I could probably thought of a better way of doing it, but that's where it is. This slides up and down. This is the rivets are too short, so what I did was I got a bolt, a normal bolt, and I just filed the cut in the top where you use your screwdriver. I'd file that all off to make it look like a rivet. It's not as shiny as these ones. It does the job, and there I can just tap the threads. It'll just widen it a bit and stop the nut coming off. So that will do for that. So what I've got to do next is I've got to take the plunge, and I've got to sort out this, drill holes for where my fingers are going to attach I've got to drill a hole here and cut the side here where the thumb's going to attach, and then I'll just wait for the proper rivets that I've ordered in the post. Chicago screws they're called, and replace these ones with the proper ones, and then kind of finish it all off, put the glove in and see if it all works. Well, hello. I've finally finished. This is the original gauntlet I had, and from that I made the pattern that I've just now finished this one. So let's put this one to one side, and let's just put this one on. So what I did was I got my welder's glove, and I dyed it with some black shoe dye, and then I got my aluminium and I sprayed it with some black car spray paint, and then used some acrylic gold, and I then gave it a worn look by using sandpaper to take a lot of the paint off. So when you look at it here up close, it looks like it's worn or old, or it was a goldy colour to start off with, and then through use it all works. All the pieces, it's stitched onto the gloves in various places, like the other one stitched on. I'm not sure how why they have this style on the gauntlet, but that's the style that it had, so I've replicated that. And I'm really pleased. It's come out really well. So here it is here of my family crest engraved in here, and I've hammered in so that you have a round bead around the top. When I was hammering this bead in, I got that gap there. I'm not sure how it happened, but I've just left it there. As you come around, you can see these are the rivets that I just recently got. They're called Chicago screws, and you can see on the back they've got a screw on the back and a little pillar. So these are 4mm ones. I've super glued them, put a bit of super glue in the threads, so they allow me all the movement, but they look like a rivet. I've sprayed them black and got a bit of wire wool on them. So I like the look of it. Looks old and used. I could have left it silver, but I feared that it would go back to a dull aluminium colour. So I really like it. It was only a test piece, but it's always good to try and do as well as you can, I think. So I'm thinking maybe I should try a copper one maybe next and see how we go. So that's my gauntlet build. Hope you enjoyed watching it. I really enjoyed making it, and maybe you should try something yourself. So thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed that like I did. Thanks again.